We're back, like we never left. I messed up, and I'm totally leaving that in there.
As you should.
Left.
We aren't perfect creatures.
We aren't.
It's okay. We're human.
It's almost like we're embracing imperfection or something.
I think we are.
I think that's what we're doing. So, I didn't know how far we were going to get. Not going to lie to you. I was like, well, let's just see what happens. And then, before I knew it, we were just done. So, that's what happened. Yep. But I told Cheyanne that if this episode's shorter than the last one, that's okay. And we're just going to finish these studies out and finish this discussion.
Yep. Bless you.
Thank you. I'm sure with continuing to read the book, there's going to be more studies that will be interesting. So I'll probably discuss those in another episode. But I do still have some from the past that I've already written down. So we're going to go through those. I think I read last. Is that right?
I think you did.
Okay, yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hit it.
Okay. The threat and hurt feelings arising from triggers such as rejection by a loved one is emotional loss and separation. In mammals, perhaps because of their need for extended maternal care, isolation is a clear danger cue. It registers as a physical threat to survival. Eisenberger and her colleagues arranged for subjects while lying in a brain scanner to play cyberball. This is a virtual ball toss game with, so they believed, 2 other players. In fact, they were playing with a computer program to act as if the other players were deliberately refusing them the ball. The subjects reported feeling excluded and ignored, and their brain scans revealed significant activity in the anterior cingulate cortex, the ACC, the same region that registers physical pain. This neural overlap explains why, as researchers have found, Tylenol can reduce hurt feelings and emotional support can lessen physical pain, including that of childbirth, cancer treatment, and heart surgery. Our need for connection with others has shaped our neural makeup and the structure of our emotional life.
Let's just go back real quick. Tylenol can reduce hurt feelings? What?
Yeah, that's insane.
And then it says emotional support can lessen physical pain. What?
Dude, it makes so much sense, though.
It does.
It does,
but what?
Yeah. Not the Tylenol thing. That's, shocking.
Yeah, that is. Emotional support can lessen physical pain. I'm like, yeah, for sure, 100%. Tylenol can reduce hurt feelings? What?
Yeah.
Since when? Now, I, want to try it, but I also don't know how...
You want to get rejected?
No, I just mean, when I'm feeling sad, to just, take some Tylenol and see what happens.
Yeah.
That sounds so weird. But you don't really know. I mean, maybe the placebo will come into play, and I'll be like, I took Tylenol, and I'm feeling better all of a sudden. But yeah, isn't that crazy that isolation is a danger cue, and it registers as a physical threat?
Yeah.
And when it's a physical threat, we can feel physical pain. Because when we feel excluded and ignored, our brains will light up in the ACC, which is the anterior cingulate cortex, and I'm not going to pretend I know what that is, so just know that. But that region registers physical pain. So when these subjects were sad and they were feeling excluded, they felt physical pain.
Yeah. It makes so much sense, though. You think, you're in a conversation, and, yeah, exactly like this, no one's talking to you, or you say something, and then no one's listening, and you just chill. And, it's, you genuine, rejection, you feel it in your stomach,
it's
or
painful.
A tightness in your chest.
That's exactly what it is. Yes, and I can imagine that you've experienced emotions before where it is physically painful.
Yeah.
I know I have.
It's the worst.
It is the worst. So, great job reading that. I feel like we made the emphasis that we needed to make on that, but is there anything else you wanted to add about that study?
Yeah, one more thing. I feel like it makes a lot of sense with the pain thing. It's interesting because I feel like, and we're realizing this more and more, how much the body and the brain actually tie into each other. When I was reading this, I thought back to a physiology class. And how, if you're feeling stressed or anxious, that would trigger a sympathetic nervous system reaction, and your body's releasing epinephrine and noradrenaline and stuff like that. No reason you feel so sick. And I'm not sure how Tylenol and, like, specific would affect that.
Yeah, that's whack.
Yeah.
But hey, I like it.
Yeah, maybe an inflammation reducer or something like that.
Yeah, true. That is true.
They're very intermingled, though. That's like the biggest thing I feel like I got from this.
I agree. What I think is absolutely nuts, though, is that she just drops it, like, so nonchalantly and moves on. Like, she doesn't talk about that again. She just says, this is why researchers have found Tylenol can reduce hurt feelings. And I'm like, huh? Say that again. You know, so, but yeah, she just drops that little bit of knowledge, which is kind of cool. So this next study is actually kind of interesting because we read this study. We read it, or we read this we read a paper written by this author / professor that did this study in a different class. I'm confusing myself. Let me explain it. Cheyanne and I are in a class together.
Yes.
And we read an article about this person, and this person is also in this other book from my other class. So, anyway, what I'm trying to say is Cheyanne and I know a little bit about this, which is kind of
together.
It all comes together. All my stuff overlaps. It's awesome. So, it says, psychologist Barbara Fredrickson of the University of Michigan asked people to view 3 types of film clips. Those depicting situations filled with joy, those filled with fear and anger, or those with a neutral emotional tone. Then she told them to imagine themselves in the scenes. After the screening, viewers were asked, "What would you like to do right now?" They came up with many more responses after viewing the joyful clips. That is, they had a broader thought-action repertoire. Even the modest version of joy, contentment, generated more answers to the question. Positive emotions turn on our curiosity and desire to engage and explore. They set us up for openness and learning. Joy, for example, invigorates us. But this is not all positive emotions do. They also undo negative emotions. We all know that making our partner laugh after we've made a careless, hurtful remark soothes upset feelings and eases the way back into harmony. Whoa.
Yeah.
As in, when they watched these joyful clips, they wanted to do more stuff. They were invigorated to engage and explore.
Yeah. Yeah, these all make so much sense. I say that every time, but it's true. So true. Like, it's just putting thoughts that maybe have been floating around to words. Like, that makes so much sense. Or you, like, listen to a feel-good song or watch a feel-good movie, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna go out and do this thing I've been not motivated to do for a couple of weeks now. Exposing yourself to good content definitely, I feel like, would improve your... What's 100%. The word? Your emotional affect?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
positive affect?
Yeah, there you go. Do you want to explain what that is for the listeners?
Yeah, so positive affect is contrary to, like, a positive emotion. Positive affect would be defined more as, like, general climate of your... If you were comparing this to, like, the weather, it would be, you know, you have a difference in, like, 20 degrees usually, and that's where you stay. And emotion would say, like, oh, this is, like, 79 degrees.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like a general state of where your positive emotions are sitting.
That was awesome. That was a great explanation. Well done.
Thanks. Tell Dr. Hatch I want extra credit.
Do you want to read the next one?
Yeah. In one experiment, neuroscientist Tanya Singer and her colleagues at the University of Zurich found that when a woman received a small electric shock to the back of her hand, the woman beside her, who received no shock, reacted as though she had received it too. The identical area of the brain lit up in both women. The same pain circuit was activated. We literally hurt for others. It's page 100.
Isn't that nuts?
Yes.
We literally hurt for others.
Yeah.
I found this to be true in my life.
Yeah.
That's why I don't actually like watching those clips of people getting hurt. Because some people think they're funny, and I, like, tense up and get uncomfortable. Like, are they okay?
I wonder if people differ in that, like, with, like, gory horror movies. I like, I'll watch them, and they make me uncozy, but I can sit through them. But my stepmom is, like, the opposite. They just, she can't stand. And I wonder if people are more sensitive to that, like,
that's
sympathy pain.
Oh, 100%. I bet that's very much the case.
Yeah, you're more empathetic than me. That's what we discovered.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, you're more empathy for sympathy pain. So.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
That's funny. And I'm sure in your own life, listeners, as you're listening, you're like, that's so true. I've experienced times when I've literally hurt for others or when someone else has literally hurt for me. And I think that's why certain diseases like cancer or Parkinson's disease is not an individual symptom, it's a family symptom. Family disease.
Yeah.
You know, like not just one person experiences the cancer, the family does.
Yeah.
Right? You know, because we all hurt for each other, especially for loved ones.
Yeah.
So, anyway, this next page is not necessarily another study. It's just something that they found, which is related to feeling pain for others. So it said rhesus monkeys, those are just a type of monkey, for example, refuse to pull a chain that gives them food if this act delivers an electric shock to their neighbor in the next cage. The monkeys starve themselves to avoid inflicting pain on another. What?
Yeah. They're monkeys. I know that we're
They're better
kind
than
of
human
monkeys.
beings. They're better than some human beings, let's be
so
honest.
True.
Some human beings would be like, ha ha ha.
Yeah. They just yank at the chain until the
Yeah.
other one died, and then they wouldn't have to listen to the screams of the monkey next door anymore, right? No, people are terrible.
No, they are.
They are, and I mean that. And this study gives me hope for humanity. It does. Because if you can connect with someone who's that like hurting on that level, that's insane. That's great.
So you don't have to listen to their scream. You were so brutal.
It's so true.
That was so brutal. This episode's title, Listen to Their Screams. I'm just kidding. Oh, or pull the cord, pull the chain.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
But that's crazy that these little monkeys won't pull this chain because they figure out that it hurts their neighbor.
Yeah.
That's just so sad.
It is.
And that's on page 101.
Considerate monkeys.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to read 102?
Yes. The bottom line is that how well you are able to deal with your own emotions will greatly affect your ability to tune into and feel empathy for others.
And this
Page
one just
102.
makes plain sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one just makes plain sense. How well you're able to deal with your own things, your own problems, your own emotions greatly affects how well you can tune in and help others, feel empathy for them. And it just makes sense. You know, you're not inflicted internally, and so you can reach outward.
Yeah, and when you've gone through things like that, again, you know, it's I've been through this, and you better know how to help people maybe going through the same situation. You're like, oh yeah, I've been there and I made it through, and this is what it's like. And you can, like the study says, you can sympathize with them a lot.
100%. 100%.
So this is super cool. When I was reading this study, I got like a glimpse of a memory from like forever ago. And I looked into it, and I couldn't find it at first, but I did. And this had said that 175,000 years ago, this wasn't 175,000 years ago, but they dug out a Neanderthal skull that was that old. And it had hollow bone in the jaw, and the teeth were gone. It likely due to like abscess or whatnot, extremely excruciating and painful circumstance. But that skull had dated to be the Neanderthal lived to be about 40 years old, which is insane. You know, it's kind of a long lifespan for that time period anyway. But what a lot of people think is that they received help from family, you know, and grinding up the food and just, you know, feeding it to this person who couldn't chew for themselves. That's true empathy.
Oh, I was not picking up what you were saying until you just said that. So basically this man could not chew up his own food.
Yeah.
So
he didn't have teeth for it.
So you're saying that people helped him survive till he was 40.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were going to say someone just hit his teeth out or something.
Rude. No, that would be the brutal side. We already got our brutal mark in.
That's right.
But isn't that insane?
That's crazy.
That's Neanderthals 175,000 years ago.
That we were still loving
Yeah.
to each other back then.
Yeah. It's hope for humanity.
It is hope for humanity. So we ran out of studies from this book that I've read so far, right? Because I've only read half the book. But I did want to hurry and talk about Duchenne smiles from class. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so Duchenne smile is a very specific smile that everyone has the capability of producing, and it is a real, genuine smile. And it was named after, I think, the guy who came up with it or discovered, hey, this is a different smile than normal. You know how when you ask your kids to smile and they're like, cheese, and they like don't smile, and you're like, honey, where's your smile? Where's your real smile? And they're like, I am smiling. A Duchenne smile is a real smile. So this is like your eyes are crinkled, your smile's taking up your face. You are in it, basically. Like you are smiling. They did this study at Mills College about these high school graduation pictures, okay? So they had 114 pictures from 1958 to 1960. 114 pictures. And in all of those pictures, they were all smiling with the Duchenne smile, with great happiness, like a real, true smile, right? Mm-hmm. So just to state, a high school graduation picture, okay? The smile predicted marital satisfaction 50 years later. As in, you think high school pictures don't mean much? Think again.
They do.
They do.
And that's not just your high school picture. That's in general, right? I mean, if you're going to smile that big for, probably one of the most boring days of the year, like, think about how often you're genuinely smiling and genuinely getting that gut-wrenching laughter.
Right. And so that's a great point. I think that's exactly what it is if you have a real, true Duchenne smile for a high school graduation picture, my guess is you're probably smiling and making the most out of life the rest of your life, too.
Yeah.
But isn't that nuts that this smile predicted marital satisfaction 50 years later?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's insane. Let's go back and look at your high school photo.
Yeah, seriously. So I actually do think I had a Duchenne smile because I'm pretty photogenic. I'm very grateful for that. But I would like to state that if you didn't have a Duchenne smile and if you look depressed, that's okay. You can still be joyful and still have a great marital satisfactory life. It's just saying that this Duchenne smile predicted great marital satisfaction. Yeah. So, smile more.
Exactly.
Laugh more. Yeah. So, I think that's basically it. Let's do the word of the day, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to do it?
Yes. So, the word of the day is propensity, an inclination or natural tendency to behave in a particular way.
And it is a noun.
It is a noun, yes.
So, the example is a propensity for violence. So, basically, like your inclination to be violent, we want to take it the other way and say that we have a propensity for empathy.
Yeah.
A propensity for kindness. We have a natural tendency, we have a natural inclination to do this. That we have propensity to be good.
Yeah.
And that's awesome because you're right, human beings can be interesting little creatures.
It's true. It's true. They're just misguided.
Some of them, yeah, sure, that's so nice of you to say. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I totally agree that there's a lot of good in the world. So I wanted to find a quote kind of related to what we were talking about because that's what I like to do. And I have read I've read a couple of books by Brene Brown, and then I've learned about her so much. But one of the things that she says is, if you put shame in a petri dish, it needs 3 ingredients to grow exponentially: secrecy, silence, and judgment. If you put the same amount of shame in the petri dish and dose it with empathy, it can't survive.
Yeah. That was a breathtaking quote.
It was. It absolutely was. So these episodes go great together. Last episode and this episode, because generally they're all from the same book except the last one. Mm-hmm. And the main message is empathy from at least this episode. And last episode is name it to tame it, right? Name those emotions and you can regulate them easier. Don't suppress your emotions. Share them and you can feel more calm and comforted. And
you'll be better able to be empathetic with others, because you can be empathetic with yourself. I mean, empathy is both, right?
Absolutely.
Empathy for you, but empathy for those around you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that. Cheyanne, I'm going to give you the last word.
The last word?
Well, sorry, the last words.
Words.
Yeah.
Multiple words.
Do you have any last words?
Yeah. I think I'd just like to reiterate that, when we talk about empathy, it's a lot about, having empathy and compassion for others, but right at the get-go, you need to have empathy and compassion for yourself, You're just another person out there trying to figure it out too, and you deserve that grace just as much as anyone else does.
I agree, 100%. In group, real quick, I'm in this group therapy class. I've talked about it multiple times on this podcast. But one of the things we've talked about is how sometimes it's easier to be nicer to others than it is to be to yourself. And not always, but that can be the case. And one of the things that we've kind of joked about is what makes you special.
Yeah.
Like, why are you so special that someone else deserves kindness but you don't, really?
Yeah.
And so even though that's kind of like a negative connotation is what makes you special, it works. It kind of like takes them out of their mindset and be like, I guess you're right,
Yeah.
If others deserve kindness and love, then so do I. So,
yeah.
in the nicest and kindest of ways, if you don't think you're worth it, what makes you special?
Yeah.
Because you do. You do deserve it. You are loved. You do deserve love. You do deserve empathy. And you are special. But I'm trying to say is, if you think those things don't apply to you, but they apply to others, try again.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I like that I said I was going to give you the last word, and then I took it. Do you want to say anything else?
No, that was beautiful. I feel like we both got a collective shared last word.
I like that. That's perfect. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you found these episodes interesting. I sure did, and I just love them. So I'm hoping that you enjoyed them as well. Thank you, Cheyanne, so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Don't forget to embrace imperfection, find meaning, satisfaction, and joy from the journey. I'm Kyra.
I'm Cheyanne.
And this is Imperfectly Broken, the podcast.